Welcome to the OK Yes podcast with me, Alejandra Copeland. Here we talk about entrepreneurship, how to grow your business, and the storytelling tools you need to create marketing content that gets an OK Yes. 6 a.m. Time to wake up and get going. You take a shower, brush your teeth, and make some coffee. A new day starts. So you take a quick look at your calendar. And then anxiety kicks in. How can you possibly get all this done today? To help us figure out why this happens and how to deal with it, I am here with my dear friend, Michelle Bakels. Michelle is a program director at G2I, where she creates community-focused solutions for developer health and burnout. Michelle has spent the last several years as a software engineer in South Florida, and she serves as the chair of Code Palm Beach. Michelle is passionate about creating equitable spaces and opportunities in tech. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Alejandra. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to be talking to you today about Workday versus work moments. So tell me, what do you think about how we approach time management in the workplace?
Yeah, it's a really good question because I think that we couldn't possibly have any more tools for time management than we already have. And we're kind of in this place where it's all really over-engineered to mask the real problem, which is stuffing more work into our days and going, and everything is rushed and everything is in a hurry and everything is due right now.
Yeah, the expectation is to just complete the task and check the box.
Yes. Time management, is at a place where we have all the calendars, we have all of the boards and ways that we can create tasks. But when you think about what is success in time management? What does that look like? It means that you're not rushed. It means that you're managing your time in a way that you're not burning out. You have time to eat meals. You have time to exercise, see friends, spend time with your family. This is what good time management means. So we have the tools, but now we need to create the culture.
Michelle, you being such a big advocate for developer health, tell me, what's the impact of multitasking and unrealistic productivity expectations at work?
So it's sometimes even more than just seeing your colleague work late. It's that sometimes our bosses and our leadership actually praises this kind of behavior, which sets the example and sends the message that this is what it takes to succeed. This is who you're competing with for a promotion. This is what it takes to be on the top. And when we start multitasking and working like that, then we are just checking boxes. We're just closing things to see the needle move or to create some kind of data point that can prove that we are worth being employed by this company, that we have some kind of value. And we're not really stopping and doing our work well. Context switching on average takes about 20 minutes between each different thing. And so it's just really not possible for us to be switching gears constantly throughout the day and doing our work well and truly being productive. We're mostly just in this state where we're spinning plates and we're just trying to close work, essentially, not actually create something meaningful.
Right. And eventually we burn out and we start hating our job to the point work directly impacts our health.
Yes. Yeah, we burn ourselves out because we just keep stuffing more and more work because that equals value, that shows our worth. But that's not really how we do our best work. And there's this parallel that we talk about a lot at G2I between the knowledge worker, the employee, and athletes. We don't expect athletes to be doing their Olympic performance level every single day. Athletes have off days, athletes have off seasons. Athletes don't work out or exercise for 14 hours in a day and then go home and stay up for another 4 hours working out again, and then waking up at 6 a.m. and starting another 12 or 14-hour day. That's not how you get top performance out of your athletes. And that's not how you get top performance out of your employees either. In fact, sleep fitness is a term that's coming into more usage because sleep is fitness. Sleep is part of fitness. It's part of being productive. It's part of performing. So if you want your employees or your knowledge workers to perform at their best, then you need to make sure that rest and sleep is integrated into what you're asking of them.
In my opinion, Workday is a prehistoric concept that no longer applies because it's in those good work moments where you get quality. So what can we do to foster work moments instead of work days so we're not constantly worn out and anxious?
Yeah, there's quite a few things that we do at G2I and that we consult other companies on when they're looking to create better workplaces for their employees. But I'll start with kind of a few of the main ideas, and that is that we want to prioritize our health and create environments that make it possible for us to find this flow state so that we can have these really productive, meaningful work moments, these flows. And we can only really do that when we're free of distractions, when we're not thinking about a million other things. And of course, that means that we really need to slow down. We need to reduce our hurry and our speed. So some of the solutions that we talk to clients about, that we talk to developers about, are first and foremost a 4-day work week, which we're also talking about in the context of a 32-hour work week. So it can be 4 days where you have Fridays off, or it can be 32 hours where you work 5 days, but there's 2 half days, or however you slice it. But in essence, we are not working 40 hours a week. That's just not possible. It's filled with a lot of distractions and meaningless time wasters. So when you free up those 8 hours, it leads to less distractions because we're getting more done in our personal lives. Of course, moving, walking, drinking water, taking care of our health so that we're operating at the highest level that we can. We also advocate for async communications. So take a week and cut out 2 meetings that you think you have to have. See if those can be turned into emails or messages. Release this expectation that everybody has to respond to you or that you have to respond to everybody immediately. Most things can wait a few hours, if not a day or two. And then, of course, don't get caught up in your scheduling tools. So we were talking about time management earlier, but I've seen it where companies that I've been with in the past have implemented time management tools that actually create more work than reduce work, because now you have to manage the time management tool. So just try and keep things as simple as possible and streamlined.
I love them, Asana, Airtable, all that. But you need to have a realistic expectation that it's just a placeholder for activities that need to be completed and not necessarily are going to dictate how your day ends up flowing. Things change across the day, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like we try and underschedule, actually. And then if we get more done, that's great. But things inevitably come up. And when you overstuff your schedule and you can't complete it all, then it makes you feel like you weren't productive and that you weren't successful. In reality, you take a step back and you actually, got a lot of great work done. It was just maybe 4 things instead of 8. And that's okay. Giving yourself a little bit of wiggle room is really important as well.
Well, obviously, the OK Yes podcast is all about storytelling tools and creativity. And the concept of having this flexibility in your time, feeling better when you're working, coming in with an approach that's positive rather than negative, is something that I tie directly to writer's block when you're trying to come up with creative copy. It doesn't really stop at storytelling. I think that if you want to come up with a good idea for a meeting, if you're trying to come up with an innovation, a business solution, writer's block also lives there in that space where if you're overwhelmed, if you're not feeling 100%, if you don't feel inspired and get those juices flowing and feeling great about yourself, you'll never find something new or original coming out of your brain. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. Creativity, innovation, it depends on us being able to take a step back and look at the bigger picture and see what else is out there. And also spend time just creating connections, doing research and learning, which we don't have time to do if all we're doing is closing tasks and burning down some kind of chart or whatever it is. You need to be able to explore your surroundings, explore your industry, explore the ideas of the people around you. So that depends on us slowing down. That depends on us freeing up our time and allowing those moments to come up.
Well, this was a great conversation. Michelle, thank you so much for lending us your time and your expertise.
Thank you, Alejandra. This was great.
This was the OK Yes podcast with me, Alejandra Copeland. To support this podcast, you can subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on Instagram. OK Yes is a marketing and communications toolkit for startups and entrepreneurs. If you're ready to work on a pitch deck, create marketing video content, or produce a case study, our toolkit is loaded with lessons and worksheets to creatively empower you. Join the OK Yes waitlist now